I like to at least touch on it so we know if there's something that we have forgotten. Okay, so lines you talked about a lot in Algebra 1, Algebra 2. What is a linear function? Linear, it's a line. What's the equation of a line? Y equals mx plus b is your slope-intercept form. What is standard form?
Ax plus b.
Ax plus by equals c. In that form, remember, a has to be a positive number. No fractions, decimals, greatest common factors. So that's the first slide I have. Just that information about linear functions, y equals mx plus b, or instead of y, you might see it written as f of x equals mx plus b. Standard form, ax plus by equals c, and the requirements for that. If it's y equals mx plus b, what does your m represent? Slope. What is slope? What does that mean? Okay, it gives us that steepness of our line. How do you find slope? So, can I go to the next slide? So slope is your m. It tells you how steep your line is. Remember, rise over run, or if you have ordered pairs, you have to do the change in y over change in x. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. You might also hear it called average rate of change. It means the same thing. What is the slope of a horizontal line?
0.
What is the slope of a vertical line? And that's just because of the formula. If it's a vertical line, your x's are all the same, and when you divide them, you're dividing by 0. You can't have that. All right. So what we're going to do today, I want to practice graphing some lines, practice finding slope, and that's really about it. Then next week we'll talk about writing our equations and all of that that goes along with it. I don't know if I really apologize, but I am not nice. I don't print graph paper for you. You guys have to draw your own little grids on your papers. So congratulations, you're all grown up. You have to draw your own graphs now. Yay, isn't it great growing up? Okay, let's graph this one. I want to graph a linear function. F of x equals negative 3x plus 7. F of x is the same as y. When we graph this, I'm not looking for any fancy graph. Like, you don't have to, make a 10 by 10 grid or anything like that. Just put the points you need to. If you like to draw, if you struggle to draw straight lines, I do have rulers. You're welcome to grab a ruler if that would help you. What do I plot first when I'm graphing this? Yeah, start at the 7. Remember, that is B, which represents what on our graph? Y-intercept. So we cross the y-axis at 7. Start there. And then my slope is negative 3, or you can think of that as negative 3 over 1. So that means you go down 3 and right 1. Or if you wanted, you could go up 3 and left 1. You don't have to. Minimum of 2 points. More if you need. What's the domain of this? It's going left and right both forever. What's our range? Also, maybe possible, but is that one okay?
Wait, why does that help?
You want a ruler?
Probably.
I know, I was gonna go up there and get one of those, like, no way, I'm gonna be the only person that gets it.
Thank you. Okay, what about this one? Actually, I don't want to do that one. I want to do this. Graph. Let's do 4x plus 5 equals -3. What's different? It doesn't have a y in it. So what should we do?
There was a Y in this one.
It was y. F of x.
Oh.
Okay, can I get x by itself? So if I subtract over my 5, divide by 4, we get x to be -2. Okay, if it's x equals a number, what kind of line is it? Vertical. X equals is vertical, so we have a vertical line at -2. So if there isn't a y or an f of x in our formula, we're looking at a vertical line here. What's the domain of that one? Domain is our x value. As I go from left to right, what x do we hit? -2, and that's the only one, so we put it in the solution set. We're only hitting -2. But my range, this is going down forever, that's going up forever, so what do we hit? So most lines have domain and range that are both negative infinity to positive infinity, unless we have those special cases, horizontal or vertical lines. All right.
So,
Yeah.
do you want us to put them in, like, the bracket, or?
If
in
it's
the
just-
parentheses?
If it's just a single number, do the solution set.
Okay.
All right, I want you guys to do one. We'll go ahead and do it. Sorry. Do that.
Negative infinity to positive.
Different. This says f of x equals 4. F of x is the same as what variable? Y. So I'm saying y equals 4. There's no x. So y equals a number is a horizontal line. What's the domain of that? What would be my range? Okay. Do we need more practice with graphing lines, getting domains and ranges? No? You guys are okay with that? All right. Let's review. If I give you 2 points, how do we find the slope between them? So the biggest thing to remember here, this is the x of the first order pair, the y of the first order pair. X of the second order pair, y is the second order pair. And slope is change in y over change in x. So y2 minus y1 or x2 minus x1. So if we do that, we get -6 minus 4 over 2 minus -2. So -10 over 4. We usually kept it as a fraction in lowest terms. Not that a decimal is wrong, but if you're going to graph, it's easier to do up 5 and backwards 2 than it is to count by like 2.5 or something. Any questions on that one? Okay. You guys do one. So we get 8 minus 8 over 5 minus -3. So 0 over 8, which is 0. What if it had been 8 over 0? Undefined. All right, do we need more practice on that? All right. Do you know how to graph a line if I give you a point and a slope instead of the equation? Remember what to do? Where do we start? point, -2, -3. And then what do we do? Up 4 and over 3, rise over run. What's my domain and range? Both negative and these positive then. Do we need more examples like that one? Final thing I want to talk about today. So, average rate of change. Sometimes you'll be asked to find that. And it's just another way of asking for slope. But sometimes you might have it in the context of a problem. So, if I gave you this question. In 2006, about 60 billion text messages were sent in the United States. During the next 6 years, text messaging increased on average by 407 billion messages per year. Find the average rate of change. So average rate of change just means slope. And if I want to find slope, I need 2 ordered pairs. What would my first ordered pair be? We had 60, and then the next one? During the next 12 years, so that would take us to 2012. Oh, do we even need that though? Because did I tell you how many words we had in 2012? No, what did I give you? Look at that. If I give you the messages per year, did I give you the slope already? I did. Just wanted to see if you could catch it in the problem. Now sometimes you'll have 2 ordered pairs that you have to write. But when you see a slope, it's always something per something. I didn't tell you how many messages were sent in 2012 for us to finish that ordered pair. What I told you was how it was changing. And so this one is just the 407 billion messages per year. Now, when we find these, I expect the number, but also the units. Okay, so we do need to know that that is billion messages per year. Now let's find one where we actually have to do the calculation, where it's not just given in the problem. In 2011, online sales on Thanksgiving Day were 479 million. And in 2016, these sales reached 1,287 million. Find and interpret the average rate of change. So what would my points be? Average rate of change is just slope. Slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. This one doesn't work out perfectly. You could leave it as fraction, lowest terms, or you could round your decimal. So we get 53.87. Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't the thing of the 808 be 5?
Oh yeah, thank you. Would help if I wrote things down correctly, wouldn't it? Okay. So now we get 161.6. Okay, I don't just want a number. I expect you to be able to tell me what that represents. So go back and look at your slip. When we did this, the 1287, the 479, what were the units on those? Yeah, those were $1 million, right? What were the 2006 and 2016, 2011? So it's always something per something. So it's $161 million per year. So on those questions, I think there's like the last two questions on your homework. I expect units on those. What would it mean if it turned out to be a negative? It was decreasing. It was falling. Positives are increasing. All right. Any questions for me? So we have about 20 minutes. This assignment looks longer, but there's like 3 different matching sections within it. So it's not as much as it appears.